Welcome to the world of dark psychology, where the lines between reality and illusion are constantly blurred. As we navigate our daily lives, we're often unaware of the subtle manipulations that surround us, influencing our thoughts, feelings, and actions. But what if I told you that you have the power to break free from these mind games and take control of your own life? Today, we're joined by the renowned psychologist Carl Jung, who will share his wisdom on how to protect yourself from psychological manipulation. Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology. His work has had a profound impact on our understanding of the human mind, and his insights continue to inspire and guide us today. As we explore the world of dark psychology, Carl Jung will be our guide, sharing his expertise and experience to help us navigate the complexities of the human mind. So, let's begin our journey, and discover the secrets of psychological manipulation. As Carl Jung once said, the greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change their future by merely changing their attitude. But how do we develop this attitude, and what are the key strategies for protecting ourselves from manipulation? Let's dive in and find out. One of the most important lessons we can learn from Carl Jung is the concept of the shadow self. The shadow self refers to the repressed or hidden aspects of our personality, which can be both positive and negative. According to Jung, our shadow self is the part of us that we hide from the world, often because we're afraid of being rejected or judged. But when we deny our shadow self, we become vulnerable to manipulation. As Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. In other words, we must confront and accept our own darkness in order to become whole and integrated. Let's consider a real-life example. Imagine a person who is always trying to please others, never saying no, and constantly seeking validation. On the surface, this person may seem friendly and accommodating, but beneath the surface, they may be harboring feelings of resentment and anger. If someone were to manipulate this person, they could easily tap into these repressed emotions, using them to control and influence their behavior. But if this person were to confront and accept their shadow self, they would become more aware of their own emotions and motivations, making it more difficult for others to manipulate them. As Carl Jung said, the shadow is the seat of the unconscious, and it is the source of all creativity and inspiration. By embracing our shadow self, we can tap into our own creative potential and become more authentic and whole. Another deep insight from Carl Jung is the concept of projection. Projection occurs when we attribute our own thoughts, feelings, or motivations to someone else. For example, if someone is manipulative, they may project their own manipulative tendencies onto others, accusing them of being manipulative. This can be a powerful tool for manipulation, as it allows the manipulator to deflect attention away from themselves and onto others. But how can we recognize and resist projection? According to Jung, the key is to develop a strong sense of self-awareness. When we're aware of our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations, we're less likely to project them onto others. As Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. By examining our own reactions and responses to others, we can gain a deeper understanding of our own psyche and become more resistant to manipulation. Let's consider a modern-day example. Imagine a social media influencer who is always posting about the importance of honesty and authenticity. But behind the scenes, this influencer may be manipulating their followers, using tactics like gaslighting and emotional blackmail to control their behavior. If we're not aware of our own projections, we may attribute the influencers' manipulative behavior to their followers, rather than seeing it for what it is. But by developing a strong sense of self-awareness, we can recognize the projection and resist the manipulation. So, how can we apply these insights in our daily lives? One practical strategy is to practice self-reflection and introspection. By taking the time to examine our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations, we can develop a stronger sense of self-awareness and become more resistant to manipulation. Another strategy is to set clear boundaries and communicate them assertively. When we're clear about what we will and won't tolerate, we're less likely to be manipulated by others. As Carl Jung said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. By accepting ourselves, flaws and all, we can develop a stronger sense of self and become more authentic and whole. Finally, we can cultivate a sense of curiosity and openness, being willing to question our own assumptions and beliefs. By embracing a growth mindset, we can stay adaptable and resilient, even in the face of manipulation. As Jung said, the greatest tragedy of the human condition is that we are all trapped in our own minds. But by applying these strategies, we can break free from the trap of our own minds and live a more authentic, whole, and fulfilling life. In conclusion, protecting ourselves from psychological manipulation requires a deep understanding of the human mind and its many complexities. By embracing our shadow self, recognizing projection, and developing a strong sense of self-awareness, we can become more resistant to manipulation and live a more authentic, whole, and fulfilling life. As Carl Jung said, the goal of psychological therapy is to bring the patient to a state of consciousness, where they can see their own motivations and desires clearly. By applying the insights and strategies shared in this video, you can take the first step towards achieving this goal. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on dark psychology and personal growth. Join us next time as we explore more secrets of the human mind, and discover the power of self-awareness and transformation.